It was the third executive order signed by Joe Biden.
The commitment I made that we're going to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord as of today.
The Biden administration has vowed to reverse Donald Trump's extraordinary rollback of environmental safeguards, some 100 rules over the last 4 years, including emission standards for cars, power plants, and the oil and gas industry, all seen as key to saving the planet.
We're getting out.
President Trump announced the US's withdrawal from the Paris Accord in 2017. However, due to a strict exit timetable stipulated in the agreement, the US only officially withdrew 3.5 years later, the day after Trump lost the election.
The leaders of Germany and France will discuss the future of transatlantic relations with U.S. President Joe Biden during a special virtual mini edition of the Munich Security Conference. It'll be an opportunity to show how much or how little the EU has in common with the new Washington administration.
The 4 years of the Trump administration were a toxic age for transatlantic relations. Angela Merkel could barely conceal her relief after Joe Biden's victory. First up, Nord Stream 2, a Russian natural gas pipeline under construction to Germany that Team Biden says must never be completed.
It's a bad deal because it divides Europe, it exposes Ukraine and Central Europe to Russian manipulation, and because it goes against Europe's own stated energy and security goals.
And France has launched a nuclear program to build a new generation of nuclear submarines for the country. French Defense Minister Florence Parly announced on Friday the launch of the program to design a third-generation nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines to boost the country's military prowess. Now, the program aims to provide a new generation of 4 ballistic missiles submarines that will serve the French Navy's operational needs between the 2030s and the 2090s. Now, the construction of the new submarines will be led by the French company Naval Group.
A 6.6% increase in murder was recorded. This means 389 more people were killed compared to the corresponding period in the previous financial year. Mpumalanga province recorded the highest increase of 13.7 when compared to the corresponding period in the previous financial year. Limpopo, Northwest and Northern Cape provinces recorded a decline in their murder cases. 193 of the murders were as a result of domestic violence.
And Argentina's health minister has stepped down over vaccine scandal. And the health minister resigned after it emerged that many of his friends got inoculated after they skipped the line for vaccination. Country's President Alberto Fernandez called on the health minister to resign in the wake of the scandal. The scandal broke and came into light after 71-year-old journalist Horacio Wabitsky announced on radio that he got vaccinated in the minister's office ahead of the general population. Now, local media reported that other people close to the government were also vaccinated at the health ministry. So far, only health workers have been vaccinated in Argentina.
As South Australians prepare to roll up their sleeves for the COVID vaccine, this group refuses. More than 1,000 people marching through Adelaide city streets, standing up against our best line of defence. Traffic grinding to a halt along North Terrace as protesters descended on Parliament. Our Chief Public Health Officer hitting back at today's protest, saying she's relying on evidence and science supporting the vaccination. The state's doctors' union also dismissing the demonstrators. Not that that was the news protesters wanted to hear. As demonstrations kicked off in Sydney and Brisbane, in Melbourne anger boiled over. Police forced to pepper spray the crowd.
This rover is an epic effort. It represents 8 years of hundreds of engineers at the laboratory, thousands around the world, a total of over 4,000 human years of investment. This is an image of the rover Perseverance slung beneath the descent stage, its propulsion backpack, as it is being lowered to the surface of Mars. You can see the dust kicked up by the rover's engines. We're probably about 2 meters or so above the surface of Mars.
So this is our first color front HazCam image and our first color image from the surface of Mars. This is not a color corrected product yet.